that back. You know what I'm saying? We must take some action. So the first condition, obviously, naturally, is al-ilm. Knowledge. Having knowledge of La ilaha illallah. What does that mean? There are a number of aspects. The first thing that we discussed is knowledge of the statement. Yani we know what that particular testimony means. It is broken down into two pillars. Negation and affirmation. Negation, La ilaha. There's no God. But that's not enough. Because if you say La ilaha, you become a mulhid. You become an atheist, agnostic, someone who doesn't believe in God. Illallah, affirmation, except Allah. So you're negating the true God existing in any of the creation of Allah, and affirming it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. This particular understanding is found in the Quran in many different occasions. For example, the same Ibrahim. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِقَوْمِهِ وَأَبِيهِ إِنَّنِي بَرَاءٌ مِّمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي فَإِنَّهُ سَيَهْدِينِ. Ibrahim ﷺ told his father and his people, verily I am innocent from that which you are worshipping besides Allah. إِلَّا الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي, except the one who created me, he shall guide me. إِنَّنِي بَرَاءٌ مِّمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And there are many other verses. The time will not allow us to enumerate them. I'm sure everyone knows them, inshallah. So this particular understanding, negating false gods and affirming it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, is the first aspect of knowledge of La ilaha illallah. This element or this condition is so important that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the most knowledgeable of the creation, as far as we know, to have knowledge of it. In Surah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed the messenger of Allah. فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ. So know that there is no God worthy of worship but Allah, then seek forgiveness for your sin. This is why Bukhari, as everyone knows, rahmatullah alayh, in his book As-Sahih, he has a chapter called Bab Al-Ilmu Qabla Al-Qawli Wal-Amal, the chapter of knowledge prior to speech or action. Before you speak, before you do something, you must have knowledge of it. So فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. You must know. You must know what La ilaha illallah means. You must understand shirk, the various aspects of shirk, the tawaqit, the false gods, al-andad, al-arbab, all the different things that the people have set up as rivals with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We must know who they are, how to avoid them. They may come in a physical sense, and they may be things that we have within our hearts and our minds, like the minor shirk, like riyah, and seeking the pleasure of the people, seeking the happiness of the people. Many diseases of the hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect me and you from such diseases. But there are many aspects of shirk which negate that knowledge of La ilaha illallah. So the first and most important thing is we must know what it means. It negates and it affirms. So when we give da'wah to a non-Muslim, this must be established. He must know that the only one who deserves worship is Allah. Because many times we get excited in da'wah, and we just want the person to embrace Islam. But after a few months of this person embracing Islam, a brother sits down to have a conversation with him, and he realizes that he still believes that Jesus is God. And he wonders what has he been doing in Islam since he embraced Islam. So this aspect must be covered. Before someone is emotional and they just come into Islam, they must first understand that once you become a Muslim, Jesus is no longer God. Jesus is the messenger of God. If it's a Hindu, all the other idols or statues that they have taken as gods no longer are worthy of worship. And so forth with all the religions. They must reach a point where they negate false gods, negate them, disregard them, and warn against them, and affirm that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. The most important thing in da'wah. That's the key to Jannah. That the person understands La ilaha illallah. After we have knowledge, ya akhwan, we must have yaqeen, certainty. You must be certain about it. Allah says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا. Verily, the only true believers are those who believe in Allah and His Messenger, then they doubt not. You know, you can't wake up in the morning and say, is really the religion of Allah? I wonder if it's Christianity. Maybe it's Judaism, huh? Let me read some books today to find out that I am upon the true deen. If you've ever had this particular conversation with yourself, then you're missing a major condition of La ilaha illallah, and you may be in great danger. But I'm sure, inshallah, no one has ever had this particular discussion. Because the shahada, the testimony of La ilaha illallah cannot afford doubt. No doubt. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. And in the hereafter, they are certain. Certainty from the bottom of your heart that you are upon the truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us many evidences and indications that you are upon the truth. This is not like a multiple choice. You know, you have the English exam, if anyone has any English exams, or any exam, even mathematics. They give you the question, and then they give you multiple choice. A, B, C, D. There's no such thing with Islam and the other religions. Well, let me say, oh, mashallah, I fell on Islam. The certainty. You can tell that the other answers are wrong. You can tell 100% and that one is the correct one. This is the kind of certainty we should have regarding La ilaha illallah. Thirdly, al-ikhlas. We must have sincerity in that. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. And they were only commanded to worship Allah while being sincere to Him in their religion. And my brothers and sisters and listeners of other faith, this is how the children of Adam have continued to misguide themselves and deviate from the path of the teachings of the prophets and the messengers. By them not being sincere in their worship to Allah. The shaitan continued to fabricate and to decorate falsehood to them until they started worshipping the rocks and the trees and the angels and the human beings and even the animals. And this could have not been the case had they been sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their religions. When Musa alayhi salam crossed the ocean with the children of Israel, then Allah split the ocean in front of them, 12 different parts, and they passed, and Pharaoh came with his people right after them. And then Allah caused the ocean to swallow, to drown Pharaoh and his people. And then Musa made it to the other side, and Allah saved them. And they saw their punishment, the punishment of their enemies with their own eyes. What did they do? They seen some people worshiping a calf. They said, oh Moses, let us have a God like they have a God. They seen the people worshiping an idol, a statue. They said, oh Moses, after Allah saved them from all these miracles that they seen with their own eyes. As soon as they seen a false God, they said, oh Moses, we want a God like they have a God. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. So we must be sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our religion. And this is on different levels. The most major level is in terms of worship, like salah, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ. Say, verily my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of everything. The one who has no partners. So, mahyaya wa mamati, first we were specific. Salah, because of its importance. Nusuk, similarly. Then, general. Mahyaya mamati, that includes the salah. And the other one, the nusuk. It includes everything in our lives. Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. This is something that we must understand. Because sometimes we don't know this. Sometimes we forget that we're doing things for the sake of Allah. You know what I'm saying? When you do something so often, even da'wah, even being nice to your parents, being kind to your wife, being nice to your children, treating the neighbors, anything of this sort, sometimes we forget that this is for Allah. And it just becomes a habit. You know, a da'iyah may sit in his office, and a non-Muslim comes to him, and he talk, just as a habit. He doesn't think that he's given da'wah. Then when he's done, so you want to become a Muslim? He doesn't even find out whether the person is convinced or not. He just wants to hasten so he can give the shahada. So later on,